This is the best athletic training for people, period. Right now, explain it. What I'm doing is the best athletic training. And I'm realizing as I do this that there's going to be a lot of, there's foot fetishists on YouTube that watch my videos and stare at my feet. And it's weird, but like, I don't know. This isn't about that. This is just about barefoot training. You notice I'm somewhat naturally duck-footed. So I make my feet face inward when I walk, and I just walk. Right now it's raining, so I'm going to see how much walking I can do without going out in the rain. But I try and make my feet face forward, just to kind of correct that natural duck-footedness. Not like aggressively, just gently. And I get used to the feeling the same way I've trained my hands to clasp right over left to kind of, I don't know, signal to anyone who's paying attention that it's like a joke, because it's like you can look at someone's hands and it's like if they're left-handed, they'll do that. But most people aren't left-handed, most people are right-handed. So I've had people try to guess that I'm left-handed because I do that, but it's intentional. Because most people wouldn't even pay attention to that in the first place. So I kind of tell if people are even the people who pay attention to that. But I'm like, haha, I already got you. No, I'm actually right-handed, but I wanted to see if you were paying attention. And I've trained myself to subconsciously do that, to catch people off guard like that. Because life is interesting. You can make it a game, you can play video games. And I'd rather make my own life a game than play video games, because I gotta like be me at the end of the day. I don't get to like be a video game character. And even if I could game, wouldn't actually be the video game character. I'd still be me, because I would have the memory of making myself into a video game character. And if I erased the memory of making myself into a video game character, then I would be engaging in some form of suicide, which I don't believe in. So, barefoot. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm taking very relaxed steps. I just took a little walk, and then now I'm taking another one. I've been training myself up to this for years. It's actually taken me years to get to the point where I can just walk barefoot for hours a day without fatigue day after day. When I first started, I couldn't even walk to the end of my driveway with barefoot without it hurting. It was like, oh, it hurts to walk the end of the driveway barefoot. But that weak tendons and ligaments and stuff connecting your feet. And your feet are the grounding for your body. I read Born to Run. I just studied this. This is kind of, when I began my athletic journey, I began it as a nerd. And I read all about stuff, and I was like, people don't really study the feet. I got to walk barefoot. I always like walking barefoot. So any justification for something I already wanted to do was totally great in my book. So walking barefoot it was. I'm like, this is strengthening my feet, make me a better athlete. And I actually did. Made me very, very, very strong. And good at lifting and good at moving and all this great stuff that you would want to be as an athlete. And when I started wrestling, it'd make you run around outside and inside, up and down stairs and stuff, but not really do barefoot stuff, but make you run up and down stairs. And where am I getting at with this? Basically, it's taken me years to get to right here, where I can just walk around barefoot without pain. I can just run too. I'm just gonna start running. And I'm running, and I never run. I don't run. I don't even really do jiu-jitsu anymore. I just do my kettlebells, and I do my calisthenics, and I walk. And I do weird movements in the pool. But I can run faster, and I can move my feet more, and I can speed up, and I can slow down, and I can do all without getting out of breath. It's easy for me. Whoa. Because my feet are strong. So I can put stresses into my feet that allow me to put my feet in any position I need to, so that I can optimally balance without having to compensate with any extraneous muscle tension. Whoa, it's a lot of words I just said there. Short terms, if your feet are weak, you'll have to be very careful about where you put them, or you'll just fall over. If your feet are strong, through all the positions that they could be in through just walking barefoot like I'm doing, you don't have to be that careful. It takes years to strengthen your feet. People strengthen their entire bodies and build entire movement patterns without ever strengthening their feet. People get injured at a really high rate. People really struggle to develop skills and do movements and run if they don't run all the time, and not have tons of knee surgeries and not be in constant pain. I kind of felt like that too at periods of my life where I didn't walk around barefoot. That those periods of my life, my feet were weak. Weak feet mean that I have to put my feet in very specific positions that are likely to get overused with time very rapidly, creating overuse injuries while also neglecting other key strengthened positions that would enable me to actually move through all the ranges of motion necessary to not only not tire myself, but move pain-free. Trying to perform at any sort of high level athletically without correcting this very, very, very basic issue seems to be the cause of all of the knee surgeries and just destruction of athletes' bodies we see. Jigoro Kano, the founder of judo, said that the main cause of injury in poorly developed athletes who don't see their full careers was developing themselves and pushing themselves, or really pushing themselves to compete before their bodies had fully developed to withstand the rigors of training. And by that he meant the ability to engage frequently in natural movements. When children develop, each movement reinforces the next stage of movement. We start with back bridging, and then we go on to all fours like a push-up. And then after developing our push-up and back bridge, and neck bridge even, an ability to roll over, we then develop our squat and learn to stand, after crawling around too. Walking forces us to use postural muscles, postural alignment, ab engagement, hip engagement, relaxation, and gently stimulates the mitochondria and the tendons to have a structure and function that could be loaded in such a way that corresponds to the deadlift, the kettlebell swing, all athletic hip-based movements, the sprint, the javelin, the punch, the takedown, the throw, the jump, the sprint, all reinforced by walking. The main limitation to walking is the ability to fall into a gait that is generative and not degenerative. The ability to fall into a gait that is generative and not degenerative relies on feedback, the bare feet placed on the ground repeatedly, so that you learn through gentle, not painful, but frequent trial and error how to place your feet without pain, thus that not only does your body strengthen itself through these pain-free ranges of motion, but your mind too learns to identify pain-free ranges of motion, a skill that will translate into all areas of life immediately, such that you can then practice athleticism throughout your life by moving frequently and without pain. In order to really embrace this, you need to move frequently, have some sort of low stress, semi-cardiovascular, meditative, low impact means of exercise that reinforces most those parts of the body used and under the most pressure in athletic feats such as lifting, sprinting, jumping, takedowns, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and judo. The feet and the lower body, as well as the upper body held upright, breathing in a relaxed manner, such as can only be found in perfect harmony in the activity of barefoot walking, presents itself as the perfect activity for mitochondrial optimization, stimulation, and the reinforcement of all traits beneficial for the athlete. To do this frequently would make one cardiovascularly fit, relaxed, strong of feet and lower body, relaxed in movement, and connected to himself in a way where he has learned how to adapt his body to the style of motion that fits him best, giving him the ease of a predator in his environment that comes only from the awareness of oneself that can be brought about by frequent, loving, physical activity of the sort that could be done again and again without fatigue or boredom. Such an activity can be found in the state of walking, whereby the Buddha said we must walk as though our feet were kissing the ground, and whereby the Taoist sages said, walking be the best form of exercise for he who wished to live a long time. It stimulates the mind and body, but does not exhaust. For he who exercises, but puts himself into a state of exhaustion frequently, will shorten his years. So how then are we, the enlightened ones, supposed to exercise by not exhausting ourselves, but exercise with the vigor of him who aspires to be an athlete? Why, by walking frequently, sometimes up and down hills. The sages of all ages reply to those who have ears and eyes to see, and smile as time goes by.